Hey there, bestie, and welcome to day 2 of 25 days of tier lists. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are taking care of yourselves. So today we are doing a tier list on Malcolm in the Middle characters, mainly the ones that have reoccurring roles on the show. I'm just gonna jump right in. First things first, we have Abe. Abe is Kitty's partner and Stevie's dad, and Abe is Hal's best friend. I would say Abe is Hal's best friend. Anyway, let's think about Abe. I'm trying to think. I think that Abe is kind of down on his luck, especially once Kitty leaves. I really do. I feel like Abe is just fighting for his life out here, man. I'm gonna put Abe on B tier. I don't think he's an S tier character, but I don't think he's a bad character. I don't think he's a bad person. But we're gonna go with B tier for Abe. Next up, we have Commandant Spangler. So, here's the thing about Spangler. He's a terrible person. Truly terrible person. The way he torments those kids, and then once he kind of has his spiral after Francis leaves school and doesn't know what to do with his life, he goes and does it to elderly people, and that gives his life meaning. And yeah, I think he's a bad person. I think we could definitely say he's a bad person, but I think his character is really funny and brings a lot of hilarious plot lines to the show. So I'm gonna put him on C tier. Next up is Craig. I'm gonna have to put Craig on D tier. I think he's a genuinely just bad person. I really do. He does a lot of shitty things to the family, and despite being completely and utterly in love with Lois, he does some mean bad things to her too. He's kind of a selfish little man. He really is, and I just don't like Craig. He just annoys me. Alright, next up we have Dewey. Dewey is the youngest child in the family. I actually kind of have a soft spot for Dewey. I don't know why, but Dewey's just doing his best, man. I think I also related a lot to Dewey when I was growing up. I originally watched this show when it was airing and when I was pretty young. I loved this show a lot, and we would catch like every episode, and I always related to Dewey. I was also the youngest, and I was very much into artistic things as well and music, so Dewey I related to the most, I think, out of all the kids. And I think Dewey's just a sweetheart. I really do. So S tier for Dewey. Alright, next up we have Francis. Francis is the oldest kid of the group, and Francis is the troublemaker. He causes a lot of problems, and he even gets sent to military school, which, valid. Francis is just sort of out of control, if we're being honest. That's the problem. He's a little out of control, but he does get his life in order. Which actually, I think why I was always drawn to Francis, because it was kind of like my eldest brother. He was the same. I relate a lot to this show. So we're gonna put Francis on B tier, not because I don't like him, but because he really does put the family through it, and puts a lot of the people in his life through it. But I think he has good intentions later in the series. Next up we have Gretchen. Gretchen runs the cowboy farm with her partner Otto, and it's the one that Francis works at later when he starts getting his life in order. Honestly, I kind of have a soft spot for Gretchen. I don't know why, but she just seems so sweet, and I gotta put her on A tier. She's just a nice person. Next up we have Hal. Listen to me. Hal is S tier, 100%. Hal is the most pure individual ever. He is always well-intentioned. He tries to be a good person. He always tries to make the right decisions, and his storylines are phenomenal, and he's a great skater. He's excellent. And I think he tries to be a really good dad, too. I just love Hal. Hal makes my heart happy. He's top tier. Alright, next up we have Grandma Ida. Is it any question she belongs in D tier? She's a racist. That's more than enough. She's a terrible, terrible person. She's Lois's mom. I feel so bad for Lois. Now I understand why Lois is the way that Lois is. She's a horrible person. Ida's terrible. Alright. Next up we have Kitty. The series starts out with Kitty being a very concerned mother and partner. She's trying her best to just keep the family together and doing what they're supposed to. I think to the point that it kind of breaks Kitty and she leaves the family and in a very terrible way. And I understand, you know, things happen in life and the things you go through and maybe you make bad decisions, but she really fucked up. And I don't think she ever really did anything to make up for it when she came back. I don't feel like she apologized or explained herself well, and I think that caused a lot of hurt for Stevie and Abe, and I'm gonna put her on C tier. She kind of fucks up bad, and I don't think she belongs on the same tier as Craig and Grandma Ida, but she definitely isn't the best person. But hopefully she gets better in life. I think they just kind of wrote her out of the story and she quit showing up on the show. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. It's been a while since I've watched Malcolm in the Middle. Alright, next up we have Lois. She is the mom of all the boys. Lois is not probably a good mom. In ways she is, and I kind of get where she comes from with how much she goes through with those damn kids. But, oh boy, some of the things she does. But I think that's the joke of the show, right? Is that she's not a good mother, but no one can be a good mother to those kids. I think that's kind of the joke that they're getting at with this show. But I don't think Lois is a bad person. I think she does try, and she tries to get her kids to do the right things. So we're gonna put Lois on A tier. Not quite S tier, but we'll go A tier. Alright, next up we have Malcolm. Malcolm's an asshole. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. The older he gets, the more of an asshole he becomes. I hope that Malcolm can grow out of that. Which the series ends with him having to be a janitor at the school. I think to put himself through college. And I think that'll probably humble him and help him learn to be a better person. I hope. He's very obstinate. But I'm going to put Malcolm on B tier with Francis and Abe. Next up we have Otto. Listen, Otto is just a gem. He is Gretchen's partner and also runs the cowboy farm with her, and is Francis's boss, and I just have a soft spot for both Gretchen and Otto. I feel like they're very easy to take advantage of, which is so concerning for me, but I just don't know why I have such a soft spot, not hot spot, soft spot for Otto and Gretchen. Next up we have Piama. She is Francis's partner, and she goes through a lot of shit with Francis. And Lois. Lois is terrible to her, but honestly, I like Piama. I like Piama a lot, and I think she belongs in an A tier. Alright, next up we have Reese. Reese is one of the brothers. Reese is a fucking menace, and we see that through the whole series. Reese gonna just do what Reese is gonna do. I'm gonna put Reese on B tier. Alright, last but definitely not least, we have Stevie Carnarvon. So this is Abe's and Kitty's child, as well as Malcolm's BFF. Stevie is a hot mess. But I love Stevie. Stevie is funny, and I think he brings a lot of hilarious storylines to the series. So I'm torn between A and B tier. I'm very torn. I feel like I have I'm gonna put him on B tier because he is friends with Malcolm. I don't know why that would be the right thing to do. I don't know why I'm putting him there. It feels right. Alright, so finale we have S tier is Hal and Dewey. A tier is Gretchen, Lois, Otto, Piama. B tier is Abe, Francis, Malcolm, Stevie, and Reese. C tier is Kitty and Commandant Spangler. And D is Craig and racist grandmother Ida. I think this is a pretty good tier list. Anyway, if you did the tier list too, tell me who you would put on S tier and who you would put on D tier. Tell me what you think about my choices. Do you think I made the right choices here, or do you think somebody should have been higher, potentially lower? I don't know. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Make sure you tune in every day until the 25th of December, until Christmas, for 25 days of tier lists. Make sure you check out Lost in Japan too. He will be doing a lot of these with me as well. We're teaming up and doing this together. So make sure you give him a follow as well. I'll leave links to his channel in the bio. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, bestie.